Hi guys, how are you? Nice to see you again for the first video on European Trademark System. Who are you? Well, who are you ideally? You are either an international IP student from the Faculty of Law and specialized in IP, Master of IP for example, and you would be interested in what's happening with the IP in Europe for your further career. Or you are a corporate lawyer, or you are an independent lawyer within a law firm, IP law firm, and you all know about your home IP country. What is it about, the IP world in your home country? And you want to know what's happening in Europe because you will have to represent clients in the future, or even actually with interests in Europe, and you have to file for European trademark application more or less in the near future. So this is my target public, meaning that I will not go into the concepts of opposition, of Madrid Protocol, of the TRIPS agreement, of the Nice classification, etc. So it is all supposed that you know that. You will not need to have it repeated here. So that is the target public. What you will get out of it. So this is the introduction of the European trademark system. So you should get out of it what is, for example, if you are a lawyer and you want to advise your client about what to expect when filing a European GI, or you have filed in European GI and you have a problem, opposition of, and you need to have a lawyer within the European Union appointed, and then you have to inform the lawyer, and the lawyer will inform you about what is happening in Europe, and you will have to explain this to the client in an informed way. So the more you know about the European trademark system, the better you can advise your client. Does that make sense to you? So this is what I want you to convey. And I would give a brief introduction to what is the European trademark system with some aspects here. And I will go then in the different videos. I will go over the different parts of the filing process, of the opposition, of the cancellation, of appeal, and whatever is necessary. But I will not go over things that you already know. You know that the TRIPS agreement has harmonized a lot of intellectual property around the world. So I will not go over concepts which you know. I will go over concepts, however, in detail when these concepts present a particularity for Europe. This is, for example, the case. We have a two-layer system in Europe for designs and for trademarks, meaning that we have a superposed, so to say, European trademark, which is one title for 26 countries within the European Union, and we have a different layer which is composed of national registrations. So it is possible for you as an outside abroad lawyer to file a trademark in Germany, to file with a German IP office, to file a trademark with INPI in France, to file a trademark in Italy or in Scandinavia, whatever country it is. So it is possible, but I will not go in detail with the national systems, into the national systems, because if you are abroad, I suppose, and this is the experience we have in Europe, you want to go for the whole market, the whole European market. You don't want to limit yourself with business for your client in one country, which is, I don't know, Italy, or is it Greece, or whatever it is. You want to go for the whole package, which is 26 countries. And if you are interested in more than 3 countries, then it makes inclusive financially sense to go to the whole European market and file for a European Union trademark application. So just that you know, there are 2 layers. I may go a bit into, because there are some interactions between the European system and the national system, for example, for positions, and there is a possibility, and therefore I go whether it is relevant, when it is relevant, then I will go into the matter with regard to the national system, but I will not make a point here on the national systems. So this is the general part. I would say, let me give you some background on what is EU IPO, on the European Trademark System. It came to life in 1994 with the creation of what was called by then OHMI, or OHIM, and which was based in Alicante, Spain, is a decentralized agency from the European Union. It was aimed for to be much earlier being established, because it was part of the single market, but 26 countries come together and making decisions about where to put on and languages used, and to get clearance about creating a competitor with the national IP offices. There was some problems, but in 1994 it has been done, and in April 1996 the OHIM by then received some 43,000 applications in that year, as from April 1996. That was much more than initially expected. We expected some 15,000 or so. For 43,000, that was a big surpass, which carried on heavy problems for our system to work. We wanted everything to have it stored online in a digital system, and that gave a lot of problems. So that happened in 1996. So then afterwards it went up, so that was a success. So the filing went up, and it was initially already decided that after a certain time frame, so that was 10 years, there would be a overhaul and kind of audit of the system to see how it functions and how it contributed to the satisfaction of the users. And this was carried out then, or started to be carried out in 2007 or so a bit later, and then it turned over that it was more difficult to decide on how to make a remake, and in 2017 finally it was the case, and a reform, so to say, the first real reform of the European Union trademark system has been accomplished. Now in 2007 or so, the Madrid Protocol, the European Union adhered to the Madrid Protocol so that international registrations can also be filed, which is important for you. I will get into this with the video on filings. Now a bit more on the reform. The reform in 2017. So initially we had high price, I would say. That was some 2,000 for the application, and 2,000 for the and 1,000 for the registration. So that has all come down with different steps. With the reform, it is about 1,000 for everything. So it has come down quite substantially with regard for the user. So you have to pay less in order to get your trademark. That is one outcome due to efficiency reasons which have become better. Another outcome was that initially we had one filing with a basic fee of one filing. You got 3 classes covered with goods or services. So this has come down to one. The basic fee covers only one class of goods and services, as many goods and services you want in that class, but only for one class. And if you want more than one class, you want to pay something more. I will get all into that. But these are 2 important issues. A third one was extended what would be the trademark, the notion of trademark. So the trademark was initially a bit more restricted, but with the evolvement, technological evolvement, holograms, multimedia, etc., so there were some other trademark, non-traditional trademark, so to say, there was a market for them, although overall they don't play a lot of important role, but the possibility was given and the reform was profited in order to expand what could be a trademark, subject to a trademark application. And then there were some simplification rules. EU IPO was coined EU IPO, what was before OHIM, so European Union Intellectual Property Office. And well, these are the main issues. There are other issues, but they are not as important as to be mentioned now. So, and here we are now with some 170,000 filings per year, not by far as many as, for example, the Chinese intellectual property CNIPA has. They have more than 1 million, much more, but still 170,000. It has been steady go up in the filing. You see this in the photo I will put in. So this is a steady go up. We have 20,000, some 20,000 oppositions per year. So you may have a possibility to get to, what was it, 20% or so of oppositions against those which are published, which come to the stage of publication. Now, some words on EU IPO as such. It is a user-driven organization, meaning that they are in contact with user organizations such as INTA for trademark lawyers, IP, FICP or MARC. Well, these are all associations of lawyers, but also with other associations which are on other business issues or big corporations, big filers, etc. So important clients, in contact with all of them in order to inform them on what is going on in EU IPO, to get their feedback on their satisfaction, and to get feedback on how the organization is functioning, whether it goes in line with what it expected from it or not. And then within the TM5, so the big 5 offices, the US, Korea, the Japan, China, and EU, they go together in order to harmonize approaches on trademark appreciation, on trademark comparison, etc., and to make the burden of proof easier for the users. And so this is also an important part of EU IPO, and you might be interested in it as you are users of the system. So I will get through all this more in detail with regard to the filing aspect, and I hope you will enjoy the video lectures as much as I do. It comes from my heart. Thank you and welcome, and see you soon.